Hello everyone, welcome to Energy Circles VSPTenneti channel. Mitraaya namaha. In the last video of the Sarva Ratna Sundaram series, we saw how Ratna Leela was absolutely stunned and completely taken aback to hear Guruji's instructions. What happened next? Let's find out now. Ratna Leela could not utter even a single word. His hands felt completely frozen at Guruji's words and his mind was blank. I can see that you are fantastically confused, smiled Guruji compassionately. Ratna Leela regained his senses and replied, I don't know what to tell you, Guruji. My life has felt like an unsolvable quest since I have worn this gemstone. Is something bad about the Cobalt King gemstone? Guruji took a deep breath and said, Ratna, if there is a newborn baby, would you turn on a bright red carpet spotlight? Ratna Leela was baffled. Of course not. The baby may become blind to the bright light. I will fix a warm, pleasant, mildly dim light to soothe the baby's eyes. Guruji nodded. Good. And when the baby grows up and is studying for exams, will you keep the dim light? Ratna Leela instantly replied, No, Guruji. The child should have sufficient bright light to study well without straining their eyes. After a brief pause, Guruji spoke. So, is there something bad about the light, Ratna? Ratna Leela felt amazed as Guruji continued. This is the same logic with gemstones. No gemstone is good or bad. Their intensity varies with so many other factors. There are so many things to check in a gemstone. For example, the posture, the angle, the direction, the refraction, the facet cutting, the toning, the color, the angular effects, the area of darkness, the intensity of darkness, and so much more. There are even types like original, duplicate, synthetic, etc. Not just the gemstone. It depends on our own details and problems. This is why the Rashi chart, the Bhava Chakra, that is the wheel of life, the birth star, Nama Bijakshara, palm lines, numerology, positioning of the Vaastu of your place, your lifestyle, all these are first carefully noted down. And only then a suitable gemstone is recommended to you. Do you now know why I asked you to remove your ring? Ratna Leela didn't know what to answer. He was still absorbing the knowledge that Guruji poured on him. Finally, he gathered some courage and asked, How did you know that I have Cobalt King on my hand, Guruji? Guruji laughed. Oh, Ratna, how I know about Cobalt King is not important. What is important is that you have still not removed that stone from your hands. Ratna Leela started feeling irritated now. More questions hijacked his mind and he pulled the Cobalt King out of his fingers so hard that it fell on the floor. Guruji was aware of the restlessness that Ratna Leela was going through. His soft voice again soothed Ratna Leela's ears. It is good to have questions, Ratna. However, the answers come to you only at the right time. Hold on to your questions with faith. May God bless you. Before Ratnalila could speak, Guruji disconnected the call. Ratnalila felt intense mixed emotions. Who is this man? How did he know all these things? Why did he not give any answer? Everything felt like an unfinished, blurred image. He could not take so much in, and he walked out of his house. On the way, he saw a nice cafe and he went inside for a strong cup of coffee. While he was looking at the menu, a lady in an elegant crimson saree walked towards him. She was around his mother's age and she had a cheerful smile. She greeted Ratnalila and said, "Hi, I am Janaki. We have a special offer in the cafe today and we have added a few extra items to the menu. Let us know your feedback." Ratnalila could not help but notice a sparkling red gemstone ring that the woman was wearing. She noticed his gaze and replied, "It is the Surya Ratnam, the ruby. Are you interested in gemstones?" Ratnalila immediately took his gaze off and said, "Oh, sorry. I have way too many questions about gemstones and I simply do not know where to find the correct information." "How did you know if ruby is the right gemstone for you?" Janaki could see that Ratnalila was worried and she sat down to talk with him. She explained enthusiastically, "Gemstones are mainly decided based on the planetary position. The first one, worshipped before the planets, is Lord Surya. He is the primordial deity who even the gods appease. And because ruby is Lord Surya's favorite gemstone, it is called Surya Ratnam." Janaki stopped to see that Ratnalila was keenly listening to her. She smiled and continued to speak. "Earlier, I had a lot of trouble focusing on things and it felt like being fickle-minded. Not just that, I am a very adventurous person with higher goals and pursuits. I want to be famous for what I do, and I also want to have my spiritual path to be grounded. When I told all this to my Guru Ma, she saw my personal details and suggested me this ruby gemstone." Ratnalila bent forward and asked curiously, "What personal details did she ask? Didn't your Guru reveal the reason for suggesting ruby to you? How did you know if ruby was the right gemstone for you?" Janaki's face lit up in joy and she reminded him so much of his own mother. She explained, "Oh, I asked so many questions to Guru Ma, and finally she revealed all the details of the ruby gemstone. The best way to know about ruby is by observing the planetary position of Lord Surya. Lord Surya belongs to Kshatriya, warrior clan, and he is fiery in nature. Lord Surya must be stable in his Sattva Guna, and we know this by observing whether he is in his Swakshetra, that is own house, or in the Shatrukshetra, or the house of the enemy. Not just that, even the planetary positions, that is the Graha Disha of his allied planets like Moon, Mars and Jupiter are also studied. People born under the influence of birth stars, namely Kritika, Uttara and Uttarashada, benefit the most when we consecrate a good quality ruby in the Lagna Dishakonas. Also, people whose names start with the sound A, Ye, E, Te, To, Pa, Be, Bo, Ja, Ji can achieve name, fame, health, charisma and radiant skin by the grace of Lord Surya. Ratnalila was so mesmerized as Janaki explained such minute details about the gemstones. He answered, "Oh, so were you advised to wear ruby as per your name and birth star?" Janaki nodded. "Not just my name. I was born on a Tuesday too, which is an auspicious day for the ruby gemstone." Ratnalila inquired, "So you didn't have any problem while receiving the ruby gemstone?" Janaki responded sadly, "There were some problems. However, Guru Ma had solutions for all of it. I was experiencing Kuja dosha. So, the ruby was consecrated in Ashtakona, performed Chandra Smarana pujas related to Guru and Kuja with the permissions from the Ashtadikpalakas mentioned in Vedic hymns. Finally, I received it from the gracious hands of my father." Ratnalila felt surprised. "Didn't your Guru Ma give you the gemstone?" Janaki shook her head. "Oh no, the father or a guru can give it." And Guru Ma told, "As ruby enhances the well-being and relationship with one's father, it is best to receive it directly from him. Also, I was warned not to wear the ruby in the absence of the sun, that is, not after sunset. I also wore a red colored cloth while wearing the ruby for the first time." Ratnalila felt so grateful for having someone who spoke about gemstones in so much detail. He felt a tingling sensation to know more about this ruby. So he probed further. "What more do you know about ruby?" As Janaki felt nostalgic to recall the beautiful moments with her Guru Ma, she sincerely replied to the questions that Ratnalila asked. She continued, "There are around 7 to 8 types of rubies. They have names like star ruby, light ruby, diamond ruby, oval ruby, etc. The ruby named Padma Ragam, which shines in blood red color, originated from the island of Simhala. Another ruby called Kuruvindam is from the city of Pitakala. A ruby named Saragandhi is from Madra, and a black ruby or Neela Grandhi is from Tumburachaya. They say Padmaragam is the best of all the rubies, but when it is not available, they use Kuruvindam and Saragandhi." Ratnalila smiled. "I am amazed at your wide knowledge, Amma. Are there any secondary gemstones also which can substitute ruby?" Janaki recalled and then replied, "Oh yes. Garnet is a secondary gemstone used as a substitute for ruby and gomedikam, that is gomed. Secondary gemstones are as effective as the first quality gemstones. However, we must take care that we replace them at least once every 3 years. Even pagadam, red coral, is used as a substitute for ruby. The Tibetans consider pagadam as a divine gemstone. Janaki sipped water and smiled. Is your thirst to know about rubies quenched now? Ratnalila laughed. He felt excellent talking to Janaki and responded, one last question, Amma. What is the use of wearing ruby? Janaki raised her eyebrows. Good question. As Mooladhara Chakra is represented in red color, all these red colored gemstones bestow the power, excitement and enthusiasm to lead our life. People who face health issues related to the spinal cord or those with skin diseases can wear a necklace made from the beads of ruby. We also place ruby in the eastern corner of the Puja Mandir for the prosperity of the entire house, and consecrating the ruby in Vartulakara Mandalam, that is circular fashion, on a Sunday in the Ravi Hora will yield maximum benefits. Ratnalila nodded and felt calm from within. The Navaratnas are indeed so powerful. Janaki interrupted. It is not true that Navaratnas are the only gemstones. Many believe that Kempu, that is ruby, pearl, pagadam, neelam, vajram, pusharagam, gomedikam, vaiduriam and emerald are the only gemstones. Mother Earth has bestowed various kinds of gemstones on us that we benefit from. Ratnalila nodded in agreement and paid the bill for his coffee. When both of them got up to leave, Ratnalila could sense a kind of hesitation in Janaki. He was concerned. Is something bothering you, Amma? Janaki spoke softly. I am just surprised that when Guruma is your grandmother herself, then how come you don't know about gemstones? Another shock hit his nerves. No, Amma, you are mistaken. I do not have anybody in my family who is into gemology. Janaki was sure of what she spoke. Your grandmother was a very famous gemologist. Had she not come into my life, I would have never had such life-changing wisdom and experiences. Ratnalila was again back to the state of an unanswered quest. He left the cafe without making any comment. He had never seen anyone in his family wear a gemstone, let alone being one of the renowned gemologists. Once he reached his house, Ratnalila dug up all the old family photos from his cupboard, and finally he found a picture of his grandmother. She was an elegant lady with a charming smile, and there was no sign of any gemstone. Ratnalila sighed a breath of relief. However, he couldn't understand why Janaki told Guruma was his grandmother. After scratching his head for a long time, he called one of his cousins who stayed in his grandmother's place. Ratnalila was in no mood to chat and asked, Manju, do you have the picture of Ammamma they took during her 60th birthday? Manju replied worriedly, Yes, Anna. What happened? Is everything alright? Ratnalila hesitated. Can you email me that picture, Manju? I just remembered Ammamma. Nothing to worry about. Manju replied, Sure, Anna. We also miss Ammamma sometimes and we look at her pictures. I will send you the picture right away. Take care, Anna. In a minute, the email notification popped up on Ratnalila's screen and he opened the picture of his grandmother. His face turned completely pale. There she had on her right hand a huge glittering gemstone. Ratnalila compared the same photo that he had in his hands. He could not believe his eyes. It was the exact same photo. Then, where had the gemstone ring disappeared in the picture that Ratnalila had? Was she really such a renowned gemologist? If yes, why did not Ratnalila have any memory of this? And if not, how did Janaki know his grandmother? Stay tuned with us to unravel the mystery that deceived Ratnalila's eyes. See you all next week. Bye for now.